Welcome back, everyone. For today's video, I am recording this one a little bit later on the day as I had a lot of work in the morning, but I still want to cover the round 9 of the FIDE candidates, especially this game, Sindarov playing with the white pieces versus Pragg. Yeah, support the channel, so maybe I can do this full-time one day, join exclusive content. So the game starts with d4. We get knight to f6, then c4, e6, and then the plan for black is to push this pawn, right? Now we get knight to f3, gonna make the move, then d5. Okay, so we get a queen's gambit decline structure, maybe slightly different move order, but then the game continues, knight to c3, knight to d7, and then bishop to f4. Notice how Sindarov has been playing this line with bishop to f4. Bishop to g5 is also playable, but okay, he's well prepared for this opening with the bishop here on f4. Now bishop to b4, pinning the knight. Now c takes on d5, e takes back, e3. The knight jumps into e4, putting more pressure on this square and on the knight, so the queen has to defend. We get g5, an aggressive opening, an aggressive response, because now one of the best engine lines, and this wasn't playing the game, but you can play something like bishop to e5. Provoking this, you can just take back with the knight. However, let's say that black plays something like f6. So we can just go back. And now we're happy with white because they have created weaknesses on the light squares, right? All of the dark squares are covered. Yeah, but these are weaknesses. Okay, let's move on. This is what happens in the game. Bishop to g3. This is still a good move. Now h5. And many people, or just normally okay, h4. h3 is okay too, just giving a space for the bishop. But Sindarov is gonna play slightly dubious move, bishop to d3, saying, okay, I don't really care because I know the line. I know exactly what I'm doing, even when my bishop is getting trapped. So h4, the bishop is getting trapped, no problem. Here, first I have a tempo, I'm gonna take this knight, and then I'm gonna give a check. The king has to move or defend, so king to f8, bishop to e5. Okay, now provoking this, and this actually happens in the game, f6. I have tactics here. Boom, knight takes on g5. This is a brilliant move. I'm gonna put the emoji here, and I cannot do it. Okay, doesn't matter now. So knight takes on g5 is a brilliant. See, obviously, if this happens, the rook is hanging. So knight takes on g5, and then bishop takes on c3. This has been played before, so this is all theory, what we consider theory. Knight takes on e5, d takes on e5, f takes on g5. Even when you can material, it looks like white is completely losing. But we can pawns, and we have 2 extra pawns, right? 2 extra pawns for 1 piece. So the game continues, and if you look at the eval bar, it's an equal game. It's not equal in terms of material, but it's equal in terms of the evaluation of the computer. So f4. Now h3 is the most common move. This has been played before, but instead we're going to get, oh no, sorry about that. Rook to b8, sorry. Rook to b8 is played in many games, so then we castle. No, h3 was the novelty in the game. Okay, trying to go after this, but here we get rook to d1, hitting the queen first, queen to e7, g3. Okay, now I'm gonna shut down this position and maybe bring my rook over to this file, to f1. G takes on f4, castle, rook to h6, rook takes on f4, he comes with check, king to g8, and the game continues to be a draw according to the computer, right? Even though, yeah, this is an extra piece, but you have to make the most of this piece. Rook, doubling up the rooks on this file, on the f file, and the blunder of the game is bishop to d7. Bishop to d7, it looks like you are developing your move, your piece. However, yeah, here you have alignment of the pieces, something we focus on this channel. Rook to f7, hitting the rook. Best move, or there's different alternatives in this endgame, in this middle game. a5, for example, is a good choice. Bishop to e6 is a good choice. sorry, bishop to e6, no, bishop to e7. Bishop to e6 is a good choice, stopping the pawn. So everything is fine here. Okay. Rook to f7 is played, hitting the queen and hitting the bishop. It doesn't look so bad. I was curious, what if I just try to defend here, queen to e8? This bishop on the long run is hanging anyway. For example, we can offer this trade of rooks. Takes, queen to h5. Okay, queen to d5 check. And this is hanging. So the bishop is hanging anyway. Rook to f7. Now, Praggnanandhaa chooses to trade pieces. Okay, takes. And I think you also have to know that going into this endgame with only the queen versus 2 rooks and bishop should be about equal, but it's actually winning. It's actually winning for white. Eventually, this bishop, the pope, is gonna fall. I hope it doesn't fall in real life, like, because that will be bad for Catholic people. But the bishop is terrible. And 2 rooks versus queen, yeah, sometimes it's a draw, sometimes it's a win for white, sometimes it really depends on the pawn structure, right? So king to g7, queen to g5 check, king to h7. Now this bishop is hanging, okay? King to g8, we take the bishop. Rook to f8. Now queen to g4 check, and it's going to be endless checks from now on. King to h8. Now a4, pushing the pawns. We just have white just has more pawns. Yeah, and these 3 pawns are not going anywhere anytime soon. And besides, we have a lot of checks available with the queen. So a5, queen g5, rook h7. We get e6, pushing the pawns. And yeah, these pawns are moving forward, right? Now rook to e8, queen takes on a5. Now, I think this is also a good strategy. Okay, I'm gonna give up this pawn. I have this e pawn anyway, but I'm going to deal with this threat right away. So b6, queen to e5 check, king g8, queen to g5 check, rook g7, queen moves, rook moves, trying to defend the pawn. Okay, queen g4 check. Now the also very annoying pawn is gonna go away. Rook takes on e6, king f2. The game continues, trying to defend with the 2 rooks versus the queen. Another check on the corner of the board. King f7, g4, rook e4, king h5, king g7. It's hard to defend, right? It's hard to defend with only 2 rooks when also you have this a lot of threats, a lot of pawns coming forward. Another check, king f7, king f3, rook takes on a4, h4, rook a5, queen h6, rook a5. So the game continues here. Queen h5 check, king f7, e4, b5, h4, c5, h6. It's insane. It's insane, yeah. Rook g5, queen d8, rook g8. And now, after queen d5 check, Praggnanandhaa resigned because of the continuation, right? First, you cannot really stop the 2 pawns coming forward. Second, now there is a pin here. Let's say you defend rook to e6. Okay, I can start advancing this pawn anyway. g5. Let's say you double up the rooks. That will be good technique. You always want to double up the rooks. Now queen takes on c5, king g8. Now king f4, something like b4. And yeah, there is no stopping these 4 pawns. 4 pawns. I think at some point you can even give up the queen for 1 rook, and there is no stopping the advancement of this. So yeah, Pragga understood this right away after queen d5 check. And now Sindarov has the lead with 8 points out of 10. Pretty much the tournament looks like it's over, but we still have a few games to go. Alright guys, after 10 rounds, these are the results of the open section. And now let's move on to the women. Bashal is having an incredible tournament in the women's section. She has 6 points. I would like to cover at least one of her games. But yeah, the game continues. The tournament continues. I will see you in the next one, and take care.